All right, let's move on to BYU. Has their quarterback. Obviously, so much has been made about Retzlaff and the exit and who would take the job. And we've talked about this ad nauseum, but they do finally have their guy there for the Cougars.
I think they do. I think Bear Bachmeier is going to everything that I've heard out of the camp. Jerem Jordan of BYU TV, his prevalent thought is that Bear Bachmeier is the guy. I think Bear Bachmeier will be the answer, again, based on everything I'm hearing out of the BYU camp, and then McCae Hillstead will be the backup. Hillstead could have been the guy, probably was the guy a couple of months ago after the Retzlaff situation unfolded. Since then, Bachmeier, by all accounts, has stepped up and been the leader as a freshman who's been the most athletic, the best playmaker at practices. And a lot of the observations from fall camp at BYU say that the freshman is going to be the guy. This is the most important quarterback battle in the Big 12 to me right now. It's not Oklahoma State. It's not West Virginia. Those have been, by and large, decided. It's not UCF. It is BYU, because this is still a contending roster that needs that last piece, the signal caller piece, to come in and finish it off to give them an opportunity to win the Big 12 Conference or be in a position to possibly win the Big 12 Conference. And Bear Bachmeier, in my opinion, is now going to be the guy. Had you told a BYU fan in February, when they were winning Big 12 games and getting their way to March Madness, hey, by the way, Crystal Ball says that Bear Bachmeier is going to be your starting quarterback next football season for 12 games, it would have blown their minds. It would have blown my mind. He is a freshman. He was at Stanford. He didn't even play spring ball at BYU. He just got on campus in March, I believe, is when he committed. And it went from, oh, what a fun piece to have in a couple of years, to, oh, he's the starting quarterback, because Jake Retzlaff, 11th in QBR in the Big 12, so not a star, but you want your senior quarterback. He is gone. Bachmeier's 6'2", 225 pounds. That sounds like a quarterback. I don't mind that whatsoever. And he left the situation at Stanford, which made a lot of sense. He went there to play early, considering there's such unrest in that program that a freshman could walk in day one and be a game changer for the Cardinal. Now at BYU, he's going to be a guy given the keys to a proverbial Ferrari. Like, hey, look around you. You've got great offensive weapons like LJ Martin and Chase Roberts, a really strong defense with a lot of returners. The question is, can a guy who didn't go through spring ball, a 4-star, 262nd recruit in the country, walk into BYU? Same guy that passed up Oregon, Arkansas, Alabama, Notre Dame, A&M, Michigan. Can that guy do it day one?
What's the let's give the good, bad, and the ugly here. What's the ceiling? What's the floor for his type of season that you would expect?
I think the ceiling would be. TJ, we don't know anything about him. You know, that's the thing. It's like ceiling could be Jameis Winston, Johnny Manziel, good young quarterback, and we are blown away by, wow, it's a good thing he was the starter the whole time. Floor could be Isaac Wilson last year at Utah, who as a freshman was a complete dud and didn't put together anything for the Utes, and really disappointed that entire fan base with how that season went. And a lot of them were calling for his head as someone who should be benched and they should go in a different direction. And that was a dumpster fire. Now in this battle, it's hard to truly give where you could put Bear Bachmeier from a ceiling standpoint, or even the floor. Tiger Bachmeier, his brother, plays for BYU. That's going to be a really cool piece to have for him, and I think that builds his confidence as he goes wild into this fall. His senior year, he missed the first 8 games of his high school season. Returned to lead his school to the Division II state title game, but missed 8 games his senior year. You know, there are so many pieces of this Bachmeier situation that don't point to great. But TJ, I don't know if you've seen the BYU football schedule, but it's pretty easy this year. Let me give you some of these and see where you land, because I'm pretty sure Portland State's a win. I don't feel very uneasy about that one.
I feel okay about it. They might not need a quarterback in that game.
Home game against Stanford, arguably the worst team in the Power 4 this year. They go to East Carolina, wily East Carolina team, but still that should be a win. Then they play Colorado. Then they play West Virginia, and then they play Arizona. All 6 of those are wins according to Las Vegas. BYU is still favored because the strength of schedule doesn't kick in until you get to the Utah game, which, mind you, is in Provo. BYU struggles to lose in Provo. They get Iowa State,
weird
Texas
things
Tech.
happen in rivalry games,
100%. Iowa State, Texas Tech back-to-back. Those might both be losses, but they host TCU, finish the year with Cincinnati and UCF. 8 of those games, I don't care who you're putting at quarterback. You're the better team to the extent where you should win. I'm not that worried about BYU.
The average BYU fan, or maybe even all BYU fans that are watching this, are already going to know the answer here. But just for the general fan that might be watching this, I think a young quarterback's best two friends are the running game and defense. They take so much. Now, there's other things, quarterback-friendly system and a coach that understands how to set you up well, receivers that hold on to the ball. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But a run game and a defense. So for the average fan, talk to me about those two things in BYU right now.
Yeah, I think BYU's run game is going to be one of the better in the Big 12, just based on how LJ Martin has looked in camp as well. I'm hearing from a lot of people who are out there day in and day out that he could be one of the best in the Big 12, just based on how he's improved since last season, where he was already somebody who turned a lot of heads in this conference. Looking at Pick 6 previews, they have BYU sitting somewhere around the middle of this conference. Brett Ciencia has one of the best preseason magazines in all of football and doesn't love the BYU Cougars. Now, a big piece of that is because of quarterback play. As soon as Brett saw that, there goes your starting quarterback who is a senior, it gets really tough to pick BYU to finish highly in the Big 12. I still think they can because, like you alluded to, the run game, which is a best friend to a quarterback, is going to be good. And the passing game for BYU doesn't necessarily have to be elite if the run game is good. They only lost 2 games last year, Arizona State and Kansas. That Kansas game was ugly. Double-digit win season under Kalani Sitake. Their scoring offense was 40th in the country. That's not even that good. Their total offense, 59th in America. That's not that good. It's not what got them to the passing offense, 60th. Rushing offense, 68th. So if LJ Martin takes that step, BYU's going to be a fine spot. Their scoring defense, 18th in the country. Points per play, 19th. Total defense, 13th. That's what was elite last year. That's what's coming back this year. That's why I believe BYU's in a fine spot. Their defense is what won them games. Their special teams. But TJ, they had a lot of close games, a lot of one-score games. Utah lost a lot of those. BYU won a lot of those. Oklahoma State lost a lot of those. BYU was on the winning end, like an Arizona State. So if you take that into account and things flip for them this year, their one-score games flip, BYU's a 7-5 program. But like I said, their schedule is so easy, I don't see them being anything less than that, really.
Yeah, when you talked about the schedule, there are some teams that could maybe surprise us. Maybe Colorado really puts it together and is better. I know there are people there in Boulder that are super high on things and less maybe star talent, but maybe more complete of a team overall. But you look at that schedule and you think, okay, well, maybe you slip up to Colorado. Maybe you lose those 2 that you mentioned. I think it was Iowa State and Texas Tech back-to-back. Yeah. Those are tough. Yeah, you could lose the rivalry game. But, man, 8-4, 7-5, kind of worst case scenario. Like, there's no excuse to lose any of the first 3. There's no excuse to lose the 2 on the end. Like those should be like, you step on the field, you don't lose to Cincinnati, you don't lose to UCF, you don't lose to non-Power 5 teams. I guess Stanford technically qualifies, though their roster is maybe the worst in the Power 4, I guess, at this point. So, man, when you start out the season with 5 wins, right, or 5 unacceptable losses is really a better way to say that, because college football is weird and crazy things do happen. When you start out the season with 5 unacceptable losses, man, you're talking go 3-3 in the rest of them, and 8-4 is not what any BYU fan wants to hear, but 8-4 as a floor is really not the worst place to be, considering the logo that I'm wearing on my chest right now. So I think that, and that's the floor, right? We're talking worst case scenario here. Best case, you're talking 10 wins, 11 wins. I have a hard time seeing anybody in the Big 12 going undefeated this year because it is so even, but you're talking 10, 11 wins is a best case scenario. I mean, you're right there at the playoff again.
No doubt. This could happen. It could be BYU. And like you said, not to pick on Florida State, but 7-5 isn't the end of the world. 8-4 isn't the end of the world.
I would have done a lot of, I would have been gambling on Venmo for a chance to get to, 7-5 last year. So, Drake, where can people follow you? Where can they find your work, bud?
At Locked On Big 12 on Twitter, wherever you find your podcasts, and on YouTube every day.
Thanks, buddy.
Always fun, DJ.